least I know the potential of humanity. So when you're talking about the effects of some of these things, sometimes, these superpowers must learn to accommodate and to live and to accept patriotic leadership, patriotic citizens. Too often, they're happier with people who are not patriots. But you in Europe, don't get angry, you never seem to know the role that some of your bad businessmen, you have good businessmen, and I respect them, but some of your bad businessmen are always doing bad things on our continent, and it's our people who suffer. Has been committing the most atrocious crimes. I'm not saying this because I'm in a position. I would have wished they had continued from where we left off. I would have saluted them and praised them. My country would be fly. But my country...
Hi guys, this is Age73. News reaching me is that former President Jerry John Rawlings has passed on. He died in the early hours of Thursday, November 12, 2020. This news was confirmed by City News and Daily Graphic by sources close to the family of the former president. He recently buried his mother, Madame Victoria Agbotui, in October 2020, and she died at the age of 101. Here's a brief profile on the late Jerry John Rawlings. He was a former Ghanaian military leader and subsequent politician who ruled the country from 1981 to 2001 and also for a brief period in 1979. Rawlings initially came into power in Ghana as a flight lieutenant of the Ghana Air Force following a coup d'etat in 1979. Prior to that, he led an unsuccessful coup attempt against the ruling military government on 15th May 1979, just 5 weeks before the scheduled democratic elections were due to take place. After initially handing power over to a civilian government, he took back control of the country on 31st December 1981 as the chairman of the PNDC. In 1992, Rawlings resigned from the military, founded the National Democratic Congress (NDC), and became the first president of the Fourth Republic. He was re-elected in 1996 for 4 years. After 2 terms in office, the limit according to the Ghanaian constitution, Rawlings endorsed his vice president, John Atta Mills, as presidential candidate in 2000. After that, he served as the African Union envoy to Somalia. Guys, this news is really shocking to all of us. It's a shock wave across the entire social media, and people really can't believe that Jerry John Rawlings is no more. Now guys, this news comes as a shock to the entire Ghana. Everybody is shocked, guys. The whole social media is enraged. People don't know what happened, and as of now, we don't know the cause of death to Jerry John Rawlings, but yeah, we are still fishing out the details that led to his demise. And just like we always do it, GH Base will bring you all the juicy facts, all the details right here. So make sure you stay glued to our channel, guys. We sadly say RIP to him. Our deep condolences to his family and friends. May he rest in peace. Demi Fedie, he was a hero to Ghanaians. Most people looked up to him, and up to today, several people in government wish to accomplish most of the things that he accomplished for Ghana. It is a great loss indeed, guys.
Sometimes, these superpowers must learn to accommodate and to live and to accept patriotic leadership, patriotic citizens. Too often, they're happier with people who are not patriots. But you in Europe, don't get angry, you never seem to know the role that some of your bad businessmen, you have good businessmen, and I respect them, but some of your bad businessmen are always doing bad things on our continent, and it's our people who suffer. Has been committing the most atrocious crimes. I'm not saying this because I'm in a position. I would have wished they had continued from where we left off. I would have saluted them and praised them. My country would be flying. But my country is involved in the most massive corruption, some of the brutal killings that have taken place, terrorizing, recruiting people from their parties into the police, the military, etc. And yet, BBC, CNN, Sky, American, media, the print media are all quiet because they want to portray the image of that fine Ghana as a showcase for the rest of Africa, so that they can use Ghana, who has done so well from my time into this time, and they're keeping quiet about this atrocious the image of this government because they do not want to undermine. They have enough problem in Afghanistan, they have enough problem in whatever it is, so they do not want to lose the situation in Africa in terms of the New World Order. The unfortunate thing is that I don't care who you, in Italy, in France, in Britain, America bring into power in my country. But I would wish you would contain them enough from declining into massive corruption and brutality and tyrannical tendencies. Because if you do not contain them, what happens is that they become so corrupt, they are now afraid of free and fair elections, and they refuse to leave power, and then we have volcanic eruptions. There was a time when we saw the white man, our colonial powers, as our enemies. But I think, no, not that I think, something that is worse than an enemy is a traitor. Yes. And when we won our freedom, some of our countries were led by some of the most noble nationalists, of our time. But at the same time, with the passage of time, some of them became treacherous and rather betrayed our aspirations. In effect, what I'm trying to say is that as bad as an enemy can be, I think something worse than an enemy is a traitor. We've ended up evolving in the process of trying to modernize. We've ended up being westernized to the point where, as I sit here before you, when I wanted to even name my children African names, heroic names, I'm a Catholic. The Catholic Church, or that character, back at home, said, no, I cannot. There'll have to be Catholic names. I mean, those Catholic names are European names. I went through an argument with this priest, and I said, listen, I have a right to my identity. Don't take away my identity. Okay? I mean, Christianize me if you may, but don't westernize me. There were times, my wife and I is a great graphic artist. We made some beautiful Christmas cards that depicted Christmas in an African setting. And the Christmas cards sold so well, even with Catholic nuns, white Catholic nuns. We wanted to secure the patent. I went to an office, the Registrar General's office, to secure the patent. Can you believe that this fellow African, Registrar General, looking at my black personality, black face, told me that no, I cannot. This was long after independence, and that it's going to take about 3 years. I said, why 3 years? He said, it'll have to go to England. It'll go to England, and it might take about 3 years before I'm granted the right to that patent or whatever it is, the register. In other words, in effect, what I'm trying to say is that, oh, so I have no right to even my creativity. I create my own, you take it away from me, and you have to send it to the colonial power. 3 years later, when they have reproduced it, and I have no more right to it. So as an African, when you're talking about democracy, etc.,